This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Every time I swear it's the last time I left myself somewhere and got left behind. I was honest and I don't need help. I was honest. But I don't know how to leave you alone. I don't know how to leave you alone. I don't know how to leave you. I don't know how to leave you alone. I don't know how to leave you alone. I don't know how to leave.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know it. Yes, you do. How are you? I hope everything is good in regards of what is going on inside of your neck of the woods. Because, listen, that's an important thing to start off with. Anyways, early morning on this lovely Tuesday as we're getting everything going and moving and grooving. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
You know, infiltration, radio big always seems to be synonymous with each other, and I guess that could be a good or a bad thing, depending on how you want to take a look at it. No doubts about it. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about, some stuff to move on, some stuff to groove on, because that is what we do. So with that being said, a lot of stuff to do today. A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of news apparently happening in the overnight. Not that news doesn't happen as we are doing stuff, but it seems like a lot more things are going on over the last 24 than what have been previously. But I guess that's because just on how news cycles work. So let's talk about it. If you want to take a listen to what we have going on, not a problem. This is the great part about it. You get to sit back. I will be here. We'll talk a little bit and do some things. So as you are doing your thing this morning, we will talk about safety in the news and safety. We'll have some level of a main story, because that's just kind of a combination of things that we do. And then, you can interact. You can come in. You can hang out. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. Once you get there, we will move and groove and get everything rolling. It's so simple in regards to that, because you can talk inside of that system. You can actually do a video chat. You can also do the standard text messaging, my favorite. There are options available by going to social media platforms. I don't love those because, listen, it doesn't guarantee that it's going to get my attention, because I have so many different screens, or maybe I should rephrase that. I have one giant screen, but so many different things running on it. So those are some things that are going on right there. So that's it. That kind of sums it up. I'll bring in some professional newscasters. They'll talk a little bit about what the hell's going on, and then we'll go from there. What do you think? Some stuff going on there. I mean, it gets so much moving and grooving. There is no doubt about some things. So there you go. So with that being said, why don't we do our thing as you do your thing, and we'll do it end to end and figure out this whole mess on regards of what's going on. What do you think? So with that being said, let's talk right away about what the hell was trending in the overnight, and we'll go from there.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look around, let's talk about it. So what's going to be on the tab and what was trending? More details of the Alaska airline disaster, and authorities bust a reptile smuggling ring. We'll talk about that as we get into the shit list. Also, Tiger Woods says goodbye to his decades-long partnership with Nike, and Mary Lou Retton opens up about her health scare. You know, if you remember Mary Lou Retton, she was the lady from Taxi, the famous show Taxi. But also shortly after that, she started going around talking about how how she can recall almost every single event of her life as if she was reliving it, which is scary within itself. Also, Princess Purple Rain is heading to the stage, and Netflix is auctioning off from some props from Crown. Also, Yee has overstayed his welcome in Miami hotspot, and find out what happened as we talk about that in hour 2 and 3. And also, there's more motivation to get Prince Andrew out of the house once and for all. So we'll talk about all that kind of fun stuff. What a time, huh? What a time. So our show here, hour 1 is Rated R Safety Show, is really what it boils down to. It is a summation of 3 hours, meaning that if you hang out in hour 2 and 3, you're going to get some music. You get some music during hour 1, but very limited. Hour 2 and 3, we focus heavily on some new stuff inside of the world of entertainment. But we are heavy-handed musically, so you don't have to worry about that because that's what we do. So there you go. So with that being said, let's bring the professional newscasters in and let them tell you about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Gaitan. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he supports the establishment of an independent Palestinian state as he heads for another visit to Israel amid its war with Hamas. America's top diplomat warned all parties against an escalation in violence, promising to use his leverage to try to protect civilians, help deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza, and return hostages still held in the Strip. Benji Hire reports.
On the tarmac in Saudi Arabia following talks with Gulf nations, Secretary Blinken insisted the West Bank and Gaza should be unified under Palestinian leadership, setting out his vision for the region. Back in the US, pro-Palestinian protesters interrupted a speech by President Joe Biden demanding he call for a ceasefire in Gaza. Benji Hire, Washington.
A state of emergency has been declared in Ecuador after the escape of one of the country's most feared gang leaders from prison. Adolfo Macias Villamar, known as Fito, was serving a 34-year sentence for murder and drug trafficking. President Daniel Noboa declared the 60-day state of emergency decree, which suspends citizens' right of assembly, establishes a nightly curfew, and allows the military into prisons. A US Navy sailor has been sentenced to 27 months in jail for accepting bribes of almost $15,000 to give China military information. Here's Andrew Wood in Hong Kong.
Wenheng Zhao, also known as Thomas Zhao, was a petty officer at Ventura Naval Base in California. He admitted supplying a Chinese intelligence agent with sensitive information obtained at work. It wasn't top secret material, but it was still not for publication outside the military. It included plans of a large training exercise in the Pacific, copies of operational orders, and blueprints for a radar system in Japan. Zhao had faced up to 20 years in prison. He pleaded guilty in October to 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of receiving a bribe. Andrew Wood, Hong Kong.
Norway is expected to become the first country in the world to approve the controversial practice of deep-sea mining. Supporters say it's needed to find precious metals and minerals, but opponents argue the environmental consequences could be devastating. John Beaver reports.
Lithium and cobalt are in high demand. They're crucial to the production of batteries for electric vehicles and a host of other technologies. The Norwegian Parliament is set to approve commercial-scale deep-sea mining to help find more of the metals and other minerals. The hugely contentious plan will open up more than 100,000 square miles of seabed in Norwegian waters. The government in Oslo has said further environmental studies will be carried out, but a host of scientists, international bodies and other countries have opposed the practice. They've warned of the potentially devastating impact on marine life. Elsewhere, negotiations continue on whether to allow similar mining in international waters. John Beaver reporting.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, more questions for Boeing about the safety of their 737 MAX 9 aircraft after United Airlines said it had found problems with loose bolts that need tightening on several planes just days after 117 passengers and crew survived when a section of fuselage fell from an Alaska Airlines jet in mid-flight. This is by no means the first set of questions to be raised about the safety of the 737 MAX. In 2018 and 2019, 346 people died when two of the jets crashed, one off the coast of Indonesia, the other in Ethiopia. Flight control software problems were identified as the cause. Mike McCarran is a pilot and aviation expert.
The aircraft manufacturers, like any company, wants to make money, but they can't do that if they don't make a safe product. Boeing probably wasn't as open and as candid with the issues as they should have been with the initial problems with the flight control software that was reading erroneous data and causing problems. This one, hopefully, is just a one-off. That's something in the manufacture or maintenance of the aircraft causes to occur. But again, they have to be open and as transparent as possible with the investigators and the general public, regain that trust that they have a good and airworthy product.
The Federal Aviation Administration has grounded all 737 MAX 9 aircraft in America until airlines complete safety inspections and the latest problems are remediated. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken reiterated his support for the establishment of an independent Palestinian state on his trip to the Middle East for talks on the Israel-Gaza conflict and warned all parties against an escalation of violence. A state of emergency has been declared in Ecuador after the escape of one of the country's most feared drug gang leaders from prison. And Norway is expected to become the first country in the world to approve the controversial practice of deep-sea mining. That's the latest feature story news. Simon Gaitan reporting.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
As your safety training old, stale, and hackneyed, safety trainers celebrating and warped version. How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and it's not standardized baloney from 25 years ago. Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Polzer at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. Currently 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Tuesday. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on as you did hear through the news stories. Yeah, so I don't know. It gets kind of interesting when you start taking a listen to the world around you of what exactly is going on. And listen, I know that a lot of times when we sit here and kind of do our thing, we talk about, there are some things that we talk about news-wise. This way you have some information to talk about, opposed to just going, hey, let's just talk strictly business, opposed to what's going on in the world of safety. But we get into some news of the weird, like when you know that you're doing a lot of flying, do you want to have a conversation with someone about the 737 MAX? I'm just saying. I'm just asking the question because there's a lot of things to talk about there, for sure. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what the hell is going on inside of the shit list. So after a weekend of Wall Street Journal reports suggesting that Elon Musk regularly enjoys a cocktail of drugs, including ketamine and hallucinogenics, the billionaire explicitly denied the allegations on X. Worth remembering, Musk gave investigators and regulatory a headache when he took a pull off of a joint during an interview with Joe Rogan back in 2018. Wow, that was that long ago already. It's already been almost 6 years. In this post, Musk said that since the incident that he agreed to a 3-year of random drug testing, not even a trace of quantities were found of any drugs or alcohol. And a rep for Musk said that since then, Musk is regularly tested for drugs at SpaceX by his own company. Musk added the Wall Street Journal is not fit in line to the parrot cage for bird shit via X, whatever that means. So, what do you think? I mean, how exactly would you get down with knowing what kind of drug cocktail someone's taking? I mean, that's kind of like inside baseball talk there. So I don't know. I think it gets kind of weird. I mean, I think a lot of things get kind of weird, but we can leave that for a whole other story. So when you hear this and think about it, what do you think? I remember a long time ago sitting with someone and they asked, what kind of drug user are you? And this was for a job interview. And they said, are you more of a social drug user or a person who uses it by themselves? And I thought it was an interesting question at the time. This was years and years ago. And I was like, I was neither. And they're like, well, that wasn't an option. And I was like, well, that's what I am. So, I mean, I don't know how else you're supposed to answer that. But I don't know. It just gets strange sometimes in the world of drugs because now you start taking a look at it and it's like, depending on the state that you live in, there are some legalities with what you can and cannot do. So I don't know. So what do you consider? I mean, what are you straight edge society type of stuff? I mean, I don't know. A lot of stuff to think about as we are talking. Let's continue talking. Investigation found that fuselage section fell off of the Alaskan airline flight on Friday, triggering the release of oxygen masks for passengers on board and the immediate return to the airport. Worth noting, contrary to the initial reporting, the entire door section popped off, not just the window. Yeah, I mean, I think we looked at that video yesterday. We're pretty sure that it was more than just the window. The section, technically a door plug, landed in the backyard of a Portland, Oregon home. The National Transportation Safety Board credited a school teacher named Bob for alerting officials of the debris. Meanwhile, 2 cell phones were also recovered nearby. This is according to NBC News KPTV. Now, have you seen that movie called Donnie Darko? About a plane crash? Kind of weird. I mean, I would imagine that when you're in your backyard and all of a sudden you see a random door, that has to be something that comes to mind. Like, hey, there's a random door here that wasn't there before, randomly. So what am I supposed to do here? So just think about that right now. Anyways, right man, right place, right time. No, seriously, as I say that, a Connecticut firefighter making some extra money as a snowplow driver saved 4 lives and 3 dogs when he drove past a house on fire while clearing up some snow. Sean Bogan spotted the house on fire just before 4 a.m. on Sunday and alerted his dispatch and called 911. He then woke up the residents inside and waited as more than 24 firefighters arrived to put out the blaze. Within an hour, it was contained with no injuries reported. The cause of the fire remains undetermined. This is according to WFSB. So there you go. Could you imagine that you're doing your side hustle thing, and then your primary gets you involved with doing some stuff? So does your side hustle get pissed off? I'm just asking. You know how some people are. Just asking the question. Anyways, one of Ecuador's most wanted and mysterious. One of Ecuador's has mysteriously escaped prison authorities and conducting a massive nationwide manhunt. Late Monday evening, the government established a nationwide state of emergency aid the effort. Gang leader Jose Adolfo Macias Villamar, better known as Fido, for the abbreviated version of Adolfito, which apparently is the translation of Adolf, disappeared from his cell at a penitentiary, described as Ecuador's biggest, highest security detention complex. At some point over the weekend, Fido began his sentence back in 2011, and even behind bars became the head of Los Choneros gang syndicate after the death of his former leader in 2020. Fido has previously escaped from prison in 2013 and lived on the IAM for about 3 months. Government officials say that at least 3,000 police and law enforcement are actively working to bring him down. 3,000 in a state of emergency. I mean, this must be a pretty dangerous person when you start thinking about a state of emergency for one dude for the whole country. What do you think about that? That's an interesting one. No doubt about that. Talk about the world of the weird for sure.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Yep. So some stuff there for sure. Anyways, take a listen to this. Australian authorities recently thwarted a reptilian smuggling ring in Sydney. 4 people were arrested in the bus, which had been on investigators' radar since September of last year after 59 live lizards were confiscated while en route to Hong Kong. A known hub for illicit wildlife trade. In total, 257 lizards and 3 snakes were found. Officers estimate that the lizards go for about $3,350 each. The foursome are due to appear in court this month. So hold on, because I'm trying to understand this. What the hell's going on? I mean, like, seriously, like, what the hell's going on? Because, you're selling lizards? Like, out of all things to sell, lizards is the thing? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird one. So there you go. So here you go. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about some breakups here, because apparently I need to intertwine both of my shows together. Lisa Bonet has filed for divorce from Jason Momoa. The news comes 2 years after they announced their separation, as their two young kids. Bonet has asked for joint physical and legal custody. Neither of them will seek spousal support. Per their docs, the two started dating back in 2005 and tied the knot in 2007. So there you go. Well, hold on. Tied the knot in 2017. I don't know how to read, apparently. So hold on. You were together started dating in 2005, decided to get married 12 years later, and then it lasted a short period of time. I don't know. What do you think about this whole marriage thing? I know. It's one of those weird grounds. I shouldn't probably talk about this, but what do you think? I mean, it gets weird for some. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine that he was talking about somebody else having an open relationship as they're married. And I was like, I thought that was a pretty interesting thing. Don't know if that would fit in my life because it just doesn't make sense to me. But hey, thought it was kind of a weird thing. Whole conversation about that. And I don't know if I should be bringing this up on the Rated R Safety Show. But hey, guess what? Little bit too late for that.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, with that being said, why don't we start talking a little bit about what the hell is going on with the matters of money, because money does seem to matter. So let's talk about that real quick. So as we take a look around and look and see and plan, the Dow gained about 216 points to close at 37,683 on Monday. The S&P increased 66 points to close at 4,763, and the Nasdaq increased by 319 points to close at 14,843. West Texas Intermediate closed at $70 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $76 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.07 on Monday, and Bitcoin surged by $47,000 on Monday evening, and up by $3,000 and nearly 7% for the day. There was more than 5,525 delays within, out of, and into the United States on Monday, with about 665 such cancellations. What else did I see? Also, tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $165 million, or a $79.9 million payout. Oh, before I forget, maybe I should show you this because I thought this was pretty interesting. This is right here. This is the lovely airport in Orlando. Yeah, these are unexpected people not knowing that some pictures are being taken of them. But if you take a look inside of this, as I'm showing you this thing, this right here was on Friday. I don't know if you can see on the left-hand side if you're watching on the video streamer here, but this is a line to get to the security gate. And if you look, the person that took the picture is inside of a stanchion in front of them. And if you zoom in, because you're going to have to really zoom in, that line to leave Orlando on Friday was about a half a mile long. Yep, you heard me. Half a mile long in regards of getting out of here. So listen, I will tell you, during the busy season, which it is during the holidays, not the easiest thing. So when you hear the number of like 5,525 flights delayed within and to and out of, it's not as much as you think. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. No doubt about that. So let's talk about it. After 27 years, Tiger Woods and Nike have ended their partnerships. Wood announced the news on X, telling followers there will be more news on the matter in the coming days. Golf fans will remember that Woods would wear a red Nike polo during matches. Also, he would often sport dark-colored Nike caps. This is according to NBC, so there you go. There probably has a rhyme or a reason why this occurred. Also, a former Olympian. Oh, look, I messed up that person. That's not Mary Lou Retton. That's Mary something else that I was talking about this morning. Look, I got that all messed up. Take a listen to this. A former Olympian, Mary Lou Retton, feels blessed and grateful to be alive after battling a rare form of pneumonia that almost landed her on life support. She described the ordeal on Hoda. With Hoda ordeal with today's Hoda, saying that when you face death in the eyes, you have so much more to look forward to. Making matters worse, Retton had no health insurance, which left her family scrambling on how to cover the month-long hospital stay and other expenses. A GoFundMe was set up by her daughter and raised $460,000, which will help offset some of the medical costs. Now still on oxygen, the 56-year-old said that she is unsure what the future holds for her health-wise, but she is just thankful that she made it. I mean, what a scare! What a change of events when you start thinking about it. Because when you see these Olympic athletes, you definitely do not think that something like this would happen to one of them. That is for sure. So when you hear this, and I tell you this, what do you think? Especially when I tell you, hey, no health insurance. It gets scary. And we live in a weird country when it comes to health insurance. And of course, we can get into a whole other thing. By the way, I mixed up Mary Lou Retton with Mary Lou Henner. Yeah, that's where my brain was this morning. So sorry about that. That's definitely an error in on my end in regards to that. So Mary Lou Renner is who I was talking about. Or Henner. God, I even screwed that up after even I read it. So yeah, Mary Lou Retton. So hopefully the road to recovery helps. Anyway, so let's talk about this. Sunday's Golden Globes brought in a 9.4 million viewers, up 50% from last year's show. As a potential reason of the jump of the viewers, it could have been due to the switch from NBC to CBS. The box office success of films such as Barbie and Oppenheimer, or that network's football games preceded the shows. That being said, reactions to Joe Coy's job as host were less than impressive, according to TMZ. So what do you think? I don't know. I mean, a jump by that much. So it's kind of a weird one. Let's talk about, let's see. Do I want to talk about two more things before I move on? Yeah, let's do this real quick. I want to make sure, because I talked about it at the very beginning. People say that I'm terrible about saying that I'm going to talk about something and then waiting to hour 2 or 3 to talk about it. So let's talk about this one. Prince's film Purple Rain is getting a stage adaptation. The movie, which grossed almost $100 million worldwide, has debuted 40 years ago. Started Prince as an emerging rock musician in Minneapolis. The album of the same name was released for the film soundtrack, selling over 25 million units worldwide. So there you go. I'll say this one too, because a lot of people love this show. Stranger Things is back in business. Filming of the 5th and final season of the series is underway after being delayed last summer in Hollywood strikes. Netflix shared the photo of the cast alongside with creators Matt and Ross Duffer to make the return to the production. An official release date has not been determined. This is according to the Daily Mail. Anyways, with that being said, it is that time for us to do that thing that we do around this time. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
And listen, I'm going to talk about this. And I say listen, but you can view if you want, or you can podcast, or you can do all kinds of other shit. But let's talk about it, because we are in that time of year that we need to start looking at some things that are available to you. Some things to talk about, some things to do. And listen, every year, people get ready for what they want to do during this time of the year. And they start planning all their conferences that they're going to go to for the year. It's just kind of the way that it goes. And have you already given some determination of what you're going to do? I'm asking for the whole setup and understanding of where are you going? What are you doing? Are you excited about doing it? You know, all the fun stuff that should be important questions in regards to that. Because it is a weird time of the year where we go, okay, all kinds of stuff going down, all kinds of things to think about, all kinds of stuff to do. So I'm going to talk about this, or I guess I'm going to talk about this, because I want you to look at some of these safety summits that are occurring, some of these safety events, and they're all not alike. We are not alike, that's for sure. And I say this from the standpoint of some people tend to go to the same events over and over again, and I don't think that that's the greatest ordeal. I always say you should probably go to events that kind of make you think differently in regards of what's going on. So I take a look at the ones that are around throughout the year and go, okay, maybe I'll go to this one. Maybe I won't go to that one. Maybe I'll take a look around and go, this is the best thing to do. This is not the best thing to do. So I don't know. So I have been recently asked to be involved, I'm not going to lie here, about a global safety innovation conference that's taking place in Australia. And these are actually going down the 13th through the 15th of February. So we're talking next month. And it is an availability to go to. If you want to have more information about it, if you go to safetyinnovation.org, that's safetyinnovation.org, we'll tell you about all the stuff that's going on. And if you opt to go here, I'm going to tell you about some of the speakers that are there. The lineup consists of Sidney Decker, Todd Conklin, Sakira Vatan, just to name a few. Of course, David Proven will be there, Adam Johns, Diane Chadwick-Jones. Of course, people from the Hop Hub like Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, Andrea Baker will also be there, just to take a listen to. Also, Ivan Bumpality from the Hop Hub, just to name a few. So I don't know. I don't know if you are interested in going to Australia in regards to doing that, but it will be a different style conference compared to some of the other ones that take place. I look at this and go, this is an opportunity to take a look if you're going to the other side of the planet to be there. So I have been asked to show up and do some broadcasting, and I've been heavily debating about doing this. So I want you to know that we will be broadcasting from there, more than likely, in some way, shape, or form. So that's some options available. Also, I don't know. When I look at this and go, what are you looking for when you go to a conference? Because every year I sit back and go, we probably have enough connections between you and I that we can do this together and do a connector of a pretty big event if we wanted to do this. But I also look out there and go, there are some very great events that are going on. So I don't know. I'm always torn on what is the best case scenario in regards to getting these lined up. So it's something to truly think about as we are looking at everything together. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk about it. If you want to find out about this event going down in Australia, safetyinnovation.org to find out more information. Like I said, 13th through the 15th of February if you're interested. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. What exactly are you looking for the next event that you're attending? Because I always think that those things are super important to consider before you just say, oh, I go to the same one every single year, so let's do it again.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing the dinner's on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add-on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM-free. That's HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM-free to use the code SafetyFM-free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM-free with code SafetyFM-free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at RadioBig.fm.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at MobileMobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to MobileMobile.io. That's MobileMobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at MobileMobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to MobileMobile.io. That's MobileMobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Warning. Hello. Listening to other radio stations could cause testicle shrinkage.
I'm talking the truth.
Never did I think I'd be staring down my own face. I thought I would come around. I know better. Still expected to feel nothing at all sometimes. to leave you. I don't know how to leave you.
Just leave through the front door. That's how you leave me. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show. 44 minutes past the top of the hour. So this one's called Leave You Alone by Kara Lundo. Thank you for allowing us to stream this here. You can stream it too. YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify. Yeah, you know how it goes around here. We love us some new music, and sometimes the new music comes at a cost.
Need help, I was honest.
So we were honest, we're keeping it real here. I don't know how to leave you. I don't know how to leave you. Yeah, see? This is why I'm saying the front door. The front door is a good option. Yeah, it's kind of weird when somebody starts crying when they're trying to leave you. Yeah, I don't get it either, but hey, it happens. You know I'm going to be stuck in a song here for a hot minute when I start ramping and talking about all kinds of weird stuff. I don't know how to leave you, man. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Thanks again to Kara London for allowing us to play this here. But let me tell you real quick about the most important thing that I'm ever going to tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at Right Love on Her Arms. No doubt about it. No matter what you are facing, you deserve to be connected to help. Right Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. All you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. They'll get everything moving and grooving for you, no doubt about that. So all you do is once you get there, you take a look around and go, hey, these are some options that are available for me. This is what I need to do. So there you go. Some things to think about. So what do you think? What do you think? No, seriously, like, what do you think? Listen, people have been where you are right now. Things can improve. I'm not saying it's easy. I don't want there to be confusion by me saying that people have been where you are and that things will be easy for you and just run, because that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying people have been where you are right now and things can improve. Totally different story. So there you go. TWLOHA.com. Click on the right-hand side on the section that says Find Help. So there you go. Anyway, so let's talk about it. Here we are on January the 9th. Yeah, that's what we're on. In the midst of our first full week of the year. Yeah, work week, that is. How are you making out with those New Year's resolutions so far? Well, what about the dry January? Oh, that's a thing of the past already. Okay, you're not alone. The average drinker only lasts until about tomorrow, January the 10th, and their attempt of not drinking alcohol during dry January. According to a survey, the survey asked about 2,000 Americans over 21 to reflect on their experience with dry January and their overall drinking habits. Results show that 7 in 10 responded, 69%, have given the challenge a shot at one time or another, and over half said that their attempt was unsuccessful one. And one just made it through the first weekend of 2024 without raising a drink. Good for you. I mean, it's not easy. The poll also found that 4% of respondents failed dry January in the new year. So it turns out that dry January doesn't mean that you're only supposed to drink Chardonnay. Who knew? And for me, dry January is going to be really well, even though everyone keeps saying that I need to take a shower. So I mean, I'm kind of confused on that. So there you go. Let's talk about the other side. The other side of things to talk about. What is the other one? Well, it's diets. People want to talk about diets during this time of the year. You know, the New Year's resolution with the diet. So let's talk about this. For the 7th year in a row, the Mediterranean diet a way of eating focused on whole grains, fruits, or vegetables, lean protein, and healthy fats, and is the best overall diet according to U.S. News and World Report's annual rankings. The Mediterranean, I can't even talk. The diet is also ranked in the first in the category of the easiest to follow. Best for family diet, best diet for healthy eating, and best diet for diabetes, bone and joint and heart healthy eating. The DASH diet, which aims to lower blood pressure, came in second. The MIND diet came in third, and the raw food diet, Herbalife Nutrition, and Dukan were selected as the 3 worst diets of the year due to their restrictive nature of reliance in processed shakes and bars, which in addition is being expensive, are not conducive to a sustainable, healthy eating habits. And because I know that you're wondering, keto was named the best fast weight loss diet. It also was named the only diet where it's okay to drink a bottle of ranch dressing. I'm just saying. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. If you take a look at Herbalife in particular, and I'm not trying to just go brand specific, you should take a look at some of the things that Herbalife has done throughout the world in regards of, people thinking they can be able to start a business with it. I'm not a huge fan of personally of Herbalife, just me personally. But that's me. I don't know. But if you kind of take a look at some of their business practices, it kind of makes you take a look at some of the stuff and go, should you love them or not love them? But hey, that's an individual choice on what you want to do with Herbalife, and so on. I mean, I guess that's just the thing. Don't know where the soapbox is going there, but something definitely for sure to think about. So are you doing the new year, new me diet bullshit? I mean, stuff. I mean, it's important. I don't know. I don't think personally that there should be a time of the year that makes me think that I need to focus more on a diet than what I have before. But that's me. I know some people get all gung-ho about the year changing and that that's going to change everything for you. I don't know. It's a weird, I always look at it as a weird thing. I just have. This is not something new. I've always looked at it even since I was a kid. And probably what has not made matters better was that there used to be a section in Disney that was called Downtown Disney. And they used to have a place called Pleasure Island, where every year they celebrated the new day as a new year, like explosions, meaning like fireworks and all that shit. And since then, I kind of thought about it and went, well, maybe it's not as big of a deal as one would think. Anyways, with that being said, let's bring some John Smalls into our life. Let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. Today's quote was submitted by Jason. Ray Kroc said, "We didn't invent the hamburger. We just took it more seriously than everyone else." I love that. Here's another good one from him. Just in case you've been on the fence about doing something cool this year. Ray said, "The 2 most important requirements for success, being at the right place at the right time and doing something about it." Thank you for sharing this, Jason. I know him, and Jason has done well for himself by following this advice. Now, I'm sure the results will vary, but if you find something that makes you feel some passion and you take it very seriously, your chances of success will rise for sure. For Ray Kroc, it was burgers, and now his golden arches are everywhere. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. The Bible commands us to give the Lord the first fruits of our income. When we bring the first fruits, it is an act of obedience and faith. It is our way of declaring that God is our source and our security, and our obedience in all things assures us of God's blessing. Deuteronomy 28 says, "If you keep the commands of the Lord your God and walk in his ways, the Lord will grant you abundant prosperity. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouses of his bounty, to send rain on your land in season and to bless all the work of your hands." Lord, increase our faith so that we can increase our giving. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
You are listening to Radio God. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a Radio God. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Oh, yes, it is. It is currently 54 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this day. And as I take a look around, let's see. Back in 2007, Steve Jobs announces the iPhone. It would officially be released on June 29th, but he announced it back on this day in 2007. There you go. Man, where has the time gone? That's for sure. Anyways, let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Nicole Peltz turns 29. Cody Carson, 35. Kate Middleton, 42. Chad Johnson, 46. AJ McLean, 46. Omari Hardwick, 50. Sean Paul, 51. Dave Matthews, 57. Imelda Staunton turns 68. J.K. Simmons turns 69. And Jimmy Page turns 80 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, why I always have some of those for you. It's International Choreographer Day. National Shop for Travel Day. Play God Day. National Balloon Accession Day. Poetry at Work Day. National Static Electricity Day. National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, National Word Nerd Day, and National Apricot Day. So there you go. Definitely some days to look at and go, wow, what kind of days are there? And man, all kinds of fun stuff there. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? All kinds of stuff. So there you go. Let's continue talking because we are almost out of time. So at the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm and hanging out doing the music stuff. If you want to come out over there and hang out, you're more than welcome on doing that. If not, you can stay on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus, where he will be talking about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. There you go. Anyways, if you need a random joke for today, try this. I'm all for irony, but the phrase good morning seems to be going a bit too far. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What is the best way to upset your in-laws? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 15% of us washed this item of clothing in the past 6 months. What is it? A bathrobe. A bathrobe. My question when it comes to bathrobes is how many bathrobes does one need? I always kind of feel like in my household, there's a ton of them, and I don't understand why. I'm kind of confused on the whole bathrobe thing. It's like, how many do you need, and are they important? No, like seriously, because why would you come out of the shower, or even out of that area without having your clothes? I mean, shouldn't you just have clothes ready to go? I'm just asking. Just something to think about, for sure. Anyways, that's it. That's going to sum it up for us. So if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, here's what I'd love to leave you with. Anyone can pedal hard going forward, going down the hill, but win the race by pedaling hard up the hill. Think about that. Think about that today, because it's going to take you places that you never thought that you were going to go. That's for sure. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you. Mean it and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
I don't know how to leave you alone. I don't know how to leave you alone. I don't know.